Hey, it's Vicky, and today I'm here to talk about the books that I am planning to read in January. I'm so excited to kick off 2025. I have some pretty good sounding reads in my little stack here, so let's just dive in. So first up, I have a book that I had intended to read in December, and I never even picked it up because I just was too busy. So I'm going to be reading it in January. I'm going to be reading The Pull of the Stars by Emma Donoghue. This is a historical fiction book that centers around a nurse working in the maternity ward, I believe, of a hospital in England during the 1920 flu epidemic. And yeah, I had meant to read this in December for my book haul revisit, and I just never got around to it, so I'm gonna read it in January. So the next two books on my list are for the Buzzword Reading Challenge, and the buzzword for January is truth and lies. So there's two. And so I took that as you could either do one or the other, or you could do both, so I'm gonna do both. So for truth, I'm gonna go old school in a sense. This is a book series that my daughter actually really loves, and I loved as a kid, but haven't read this version of it. And that is The Babysitter's Club, and this one is The Truth About Stacy, and this is the graphic novelization of the books. So you're getting the same story, it's just in graphic novel format. It's illustrated by Raina Telgemeier, who I have read her middle grade books, her middle grade graphic novels, and have enjoyed every single one. They're so good, and I love her art style. So I'm excited to pick this up because I haven't read The Truth About Stacy since I was a kid, but it centers around Stacy, who has diabetes, and she's new to town, and so she is trying to navigate being the new kid, and also, you know, she has this medical condition that people don't really know about. It raises questions, and then of course there's some like babysitter drama, you know? So I'm excited to check this out. I think it's gonna be fun. And then for lies, I'm going with a YA novel that, you know, I don't read a lot of YA these days, but I was trying to find a book that had lie of some sort in the title, and this one jumped out at me because of the synopsis, and it's called One of Us is Lying, and it's by Karen M. McManus. And basically this is The Breakfast Club with a murder mystery, and to me that sounds like a really good time because The Breakfast Club is one of my all-time favorite movies. So when I started reading the synopsis, and it was like, oh, these kids show up to detention, there's a brain, there's the beauty, there's the criminal, the athlete, and the outcast, I was like, oh, it's The Breakfast Club. But by the time detention is over, one of the kids is dead, and they are convinced that somebody within that detention, so one of those other kids, committed the crime, and it's all about that. So that just sounds like really fun to me. And it's gonna fulfill the buzzword prompt for me, so this should be fun. And then for another reading challenge I'm doing in 2025 is the Go With The Flow reading challenge. And so the first prompt is to read a book with your favorite color on the cover, and my favorite color is green, and so I picked the greenest book that I have on my shelves, and that is The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. And this is a mystery story that centers around a summer camp in the 1970s. And one morning, one of the campers, a 13-year-old girl, goes missing, and she is the daughter of the family that owns the summer camp. And to kind of make matters worse, 14 years prior, her brother also went missing from the camp. So I've heard that there's a lot of jumping back and forth in time, there's a lot of characters, but that this is so good. So I'm really looking forward to reading it. I had meant to read this when I bought it back in 2024. I think it was summertime I picked it up, and I just never got around to it. It's it's almost 500 pages, so it's a little bit on the, you know, longer side for a mystery, but I think it's gonna be really good. I read Liz Moore's book, Long Bright River, and thought it was really solid. So I'm excited about this one. So I also am trying to do this 25 and 25 challenge just for myself, to try to make sure that I'm reading books I already physically own and to try to prioritize those throughout the year. So I'm trying to pick two every month. So the first one that I picked kind of goes with Go With The Flow also, is The God of the Woods. The other one is a nonfiction book called Superior Land and the Story of Grand Marais, Michigan by Karen A. Breeze. And this is a local author. Grand Marais is my dad's hometown. And I don't know much about its history, honestly. I love it though. It's one of my favorite places in the world. And Karen Breeze is actually a friend of my dad's. She lives in Grand Marais, has lived there for many, many years, and she actually owns a business in Grand Marais. So, you know, she wrote a book about it, about Grand Marais and its history. And so, not this past Christmas, but the Christmas before, my parents picked this up for me because they thought I would like to read it, and I do. I want to read it. So it's a fairly quick little read. It's like 250 pages. There's a lot of photographs and things, so it should be interesting. I'm excited to learn more about one of my favorite places on earth. And then the last book I am planning to read is for my goal to read Stephen King to 0. I got 7 books left of his that I need to read, and I'm trying to read them chronologically. I know I've gone out of order a little bit, especially this past year, but I'm trying to get back on track. So I'm gonna read Doomakey. And this one, I just went and got it from the library. I just, before turning on the camera, had to read the synopsis because I have no idea what this book's about. Absolutely no idea. But it's about a guy who lives in Minnesota. He is involved in a terrible, I think, work accident. Yeah, he is a construction worker, and he is involved in a terrible accident and has a lot of trauma from physically and mentally from this accident. And at the advice of his doctor, he moves to this place in Florida called Doomakey, where he is encouraged by his doctor to just sort of relax and do something that he enjoys. And he used to be really into drawing, and so he starts to do that, and then something starts happening with his drawings. I don't know if it's somehow supernatural or what, but something goes on with the drawings. And then there's also kind of tied in, there's a lot of other characters that he meets and these sort of people that live at Doomakey that he befriends and whatnot. So it's going to be, I'm sure, rich in characters, which Stephen King is known for. I feel like he is so good at writing characters and getting you invested in them. And then there's going to be this supernatural element to the story with the drawing and something going on with those. So it's a little bit longer as well. How long is this book? 600 pages. I'm planning on listening to this one on audio. All right, so those are my reading plans for January. Please let me know down below how you are planning to kick off your reading year. What are the books you are just itching to get to first? I would love to know. And if you've read any of these books on my list, let me know what you thought of them, because I would love to know that too. So I hope you have a happy new year, and I will chat with you soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.